All right, I'm going to have to pause that for a second so I could hear myself think, since you really can't hear yourself think, because I want to make that word naughty. I want to say that in such a naughty way, but this is YouTube, and we're going to be really nice here, aren't we, everybody? Hello, I'm Zeospantera, the host of Z Reviews, In-Ear Fetish, Z Second Channel, check that one out, and all these other things. And this is a headphone by an IEM brand. You've heard of Noble. They go to shows. They're an American-based company. They make, you could actually speak to them. It's great. And they're like, you know what we need? A Bluetooth headphone. And I'm like, sure, whatever. I'm not going to judge them. $650 Bluetooth headphone. And now I'm going to judge you. But here's the thing. I think I heard was it SoCal? Was it SoCal? No, it had to be before that because I exchanged them at SoCal. Anyway, I heard these. And surprisingly, not a generic piece of shit with just a brand name on it. That's usually the case. Is like Fio came out with a headphone long time ago that was just like, hey, Swan did it. We made a headphone, and they didn't. They just went to a Bluetooth company in China and went, put our name on this, and then we'll make sure it's okay, and we'll sell it. Everyone wants Bluetooth headphones. If I could make Eris Bluetooth, do it in a fucking heartbeat. Because if you go to the top 100 headphones that are sold on Amazon, which isn't the greatest place, but the top 100, like 95 of them probably, maybe 90, are just crappy Bluetooth headphones that no one cares about, including, and you will see a review of them, these Apple AirPods Max, not Apple AirPods Maxes. I bought those. They were $30. Top 25 headphones sold on Amazon. I had to know. They're terrible. Don't worry. But these, so Noble is not known for being shit. And this isn't a headphone that I could find in like any other form on the internet. So they actually sat down and worked to make these. They got the Noble logo. They've got a unique style headband. I mean, it's a pretty basic style headband, but simplicity here is important. You're going to throw these in your bag. You're going to beat them up. You're going to throw them around. So they need to be simple. This looks remarkably like the B&O system that I had on my, the H6s over there. Very close to how that functions. But that's good. I'm okay with companies stealing good things from other companies, and just as long as you're not taking the whole thing and making it cheaper. So this is an interesting thing. Then you look at it and it's like, wow, are these the stock pads? They are. Are they dense foam? They are. Are they leather? Yes. Okay, you got this big area here that looks like it's fabric coated, because it is. No touch surfaces, thank the Lord, because I'm pretty anti-touch surface on things now, because I'm Italian mostly, and I eat pizza mostly, and when I touch things after I've eaten pizza and I'm out, it's everywhere. So unless I have to touch a spot and wipe it and I could never own a Tesla. Could you imagine I look at other people's Teslas, people who aren't me, and I look at the screen, and I would never be able to drive the fucking car. I would be in there like, what the fuck, we squeegee cleaning the screen while I'm doing 75 miles an hour on the highway. So good, no touch surfaces. We have real buttons. We've got negative, positive. The play, pause, answer calls, standard middle button has a very large ridge in it. It almost feels like a rocker. It's not. You get the ANC button, which does cycle through all three settings, which is noise canceling, which I can't demo to you, but I can tell you is on par with the best stuff Bose does, the best stuff Sony does. I think maybe Apple and Dyson might still be edging it out as far as the noise canceling goes, which, comparing it to that, even being between Bose and like Apple or Sony and Dyson, and everyone doesn't trust that is a fucking good place to be. They do just off, so nothing. It just becomes a closed back headphone in which you could hear how dense these are, because they do active noise canceling, but also passive noise canceling. And the reason this says hybrid true wireless headphone, I think there's going to be two reasons for that. One is all this shit at the desk is about to be used. Two is the noise canceling they're doing is both outer and inner. So it actually blocks sound that it's outside, and then it hears from the inside if anything got through, and then blocks it again. So that could be the hybrid. Also, the way it uses microphones, where it has literally a boom mic that you can attach. Wait. But if you're not some sort of gamer tool, like this is great if you need to be very specific, like whisper it to my mouth. I'm making corporate decisions here. But if you unplug this, throw it in a drawer, you still have a microphone like any normal fucking Bluetooth headphones. You don't need this to make calls. But if you find it's better this will do a better job at canceling out the world for you to talk. If you're a stockbroker, this. If you're just sitting around in your kitchen, you don't need that thing next to your mouth. It's fine. And then the pass-through, which they call on their website, the best pass-through that's ever been. It's not. It might be preferable. I didn't dig around. I don't believe there's an app. Please, God, tell me there's not an app and I haven't been using it. They don't mention an app, which is the best news I've ever heard. One of the best things you could do for Zeos is don't include a fucking app that I have to install and learn and register and, by the way, updates and then over-the-air update. No, don't do that. Please don't do that. So they give you everything you need on the headphone itself. And they talk about the pass-through being like, the greatest. I think the Apple AirPods Max and either the Dyson On-Track or the Zone, if you feel like being that guy with the fans, are better. Like you put them in that mode and you are literally in real life with an open pair of headphones. I don't know how they do it. These, you still get the directionality of the open, but they are still doing slight noise canceling. Like it's not repeating everything you hear at 1-to-1 volume. It's actually just a little bit brought down. And I might prefer that. I don't think I can set those as options in the other ones. But on this, like I put it in pass-through mode and I'm just walking around my basement and I have my big heaters on just to make sure they run this winter. And I could hear them, but it's just like 25% quieter. And I can snap my fingers and it's 25% quieter. And when I speak, it's 25% quieter. So you could absolutely have a conversation through them in the open mode, but it's going to be just reduced down. And I kind of feel comfortable with that. So I'm not going to complain. That is not a complaint. It's just like, all right, that's one of the things that it does. So now, well, what is it, Zeos? What's under the hood? Well, this is one of the rare headphones, and I don't think this comes off. I feel like they're not going to. You're not going to let me rip this off, right? They're not going to do that for me. 2 drivers. Because Noble makes IEMs, and everyone who knows IEMs, there are single dynamic IEMs, and I love those. But, there's the big heater coming back on. Which was great when I was testing this, but now I should have gone upstairs and turned it off with the app. Coffee. So, this actually has a 40mm dynamic, which is perfectly fine for a Bluetooth headphone. A lot of them have that sort of size. Neumann NDH20s and 30s are that. But then it's got a 14.5mm planar, which, if you know anything about IEMs, is a pretty popular size for a planar in an IEM. And they're fucking Noble. So they're just like, we got to throw some shit in there that makes it like better. And while I don't think this is the future of headphones, although I did mention that in the One More Trident headphone, which also had like a 10mm piezo tweeter buried under the front. And I said every headphone should have 2 drivers. I can't fully like tell that this obviously is the best thing, With a speaker, 2-way is fine, 3-way is better, 5-way is better sometimes. Then things get all sort of convoluted and things. But it's nice to see someone trying something new. And it's also nice when you have a $650 headphone to not just be giving us a standard bullshit. This has got more stuff going on. No app is kind of a plus. Active noise canceling that is quite good. Pass-through that is more than acceptable. And then you get the sound. So I haven't talked about the sound yet. We can talk about the build. Build is nice, big, kind of heavy, but like robust. Robusto. Like the wallpaper. We've got a very robust build. Comfort, well, the pads speak for themselves. These, like, I don't think Tacony's going to beat these in a comfort match. Maybe making them slightly larger. But again, I don't know if these, I don't feel like breaking them to see if they come off. They're a little thick. Like when you're wearing them, you could see that they're going to be thick. They're thicker than like the Bose stuff. But that's good for passive cancellation, which makes it a lot easier for the active. But here's the thing. I don't think the hybrid on that truly just means the shit they're talking about with the Bluetooth. Because for a Bluetooth headphone, these sound exceptionally good. Forget that for a second. Let's wire them. Because one of the things that really threw me off when they were showing these to me at whatever show they showed them to me, was it London Can Jam? I'm looking up there like the answers on my ceiling. Was, hey, did you like these on Bluetooth? Yeah, I was listening to them. They had them paired to devices, and I'm sitting there, and wow, that machine behind me just went away. I guess I could unplug you now. Nice. I could listen to Nanad Velasic's new bass room. Oh, it's such a good... Oh, by the way, like, you take it off, it doesn't stop. There are some aspects of this where you know it's not Bose doing it, or Sony doing it, or even Dyson, where it has sensors, and you can tell if it's off, and you can tell if you're running, and you can tell if the satellites can see it. It's been reduced to a very basic form. I like that. I want to take off a headphone and not have it automatically stop. And by the way, it knows you were in your fridge and therefore it ordered milk. Just be a headphone. Be a normal fucking headphone first. And that's what they thought. So yes, as a Bluetooth device, this thing is right up there with some of the best sounding. I got the Focal Bathist still. I got the On-Tracks. I actually gave my friend the Sonys that I had, but I use the QC35s all the time. I know what I'm doing, sort of. But Noble, they're taking a different route. You see, all those headphones I just listed, none of them will plug in analog, I don't think. And if they do, they're most likely using the amplifiers in the headphone and the DSP corrections to make them sound good or acceptable. A lot of those headphones I would call as exceptional for a Bluetooth headphone. But if I pause my Bluetooth connection to this, which, by the way, one last thing before I get off of Bluetooth, before I fucking forget it. In my Bluetooth settings under this thing, I had to turn off LE audio, and I found this was the case also with the Koss Porta Pros. If I had LE audio on, these sounded compressed and like not mono, but just crunchy and compressed. Turned off LE audio on my particular Sony phone, sounds better. So something's up with my model of Sony, and if you get these and you don't like the way they sound with your Bluetooth, go through the settings in the Bluetooth menu, turn shit on and off, see if it makes a difference. You'll be amazed what HD audio turned off might sound better than HD audio on, or in this case, LE audio. This is important. In fact, let's pull this completely out of the Sparkos Labs and put you back in right there. So this is the wire it comes with. It is a 4-pole, 3.5 to 3.5. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 4-pole. So that's fine if you're using it for a microphone and everything. And then it comes with this adapter, which I've never seen the likes of it. And it should be an illegal adapter, but this is a 4-pole wire. And what I mean by a legal adapter is this is a balanced 4.4 that you plug in a 3.5 4-pole, and now I can run it through a balanced amplifier into the headphone. And then the most important part is that the headphone can die. The Bluetooth can be off. You could power it down. And this just becomes a headphone. And the shocking thing that they showed me when they showed me these headphones was listen to how good they are with Bluetooth. And now listen to it on this X hundreds, thousands of dollars of equipment. And listen to them scale. Because these were designed as a headphone first. With its 40 millimeter driver, with the 14.5 millimeter planar. It was designed to just be a headphone. Oh, wait, I need to plug that in all the way would be helpful. Don't blow anything up for the love of God. So now it's a headphone now. It's just a headphone. Is it still powered on? It is. I'm going to power it off. Wait for the light. There's a little tiny little baby light. Over the death of an act. So we're still doing the active noise canceling when it's on, so that's why I just got louder. You can run it with a wire, like if you're on a plane and you want to plug in for whatever reason, you know, a Bluetooth device. If you're using an old Sony Walkman. But then you power it off, and all the circuitry disconnects. And you're left with just a headphone. Like, just a headphone, like a fucking headphone. Like, on my wall, like inert. Everyone's complaining about e-waste nowadays, and I have a cool little Bluetooth thing that uses an 18650 cell if you want to get rid of e-waste. You turn this off. By the way, microphone mute button for both mics, including the external. You turn this off, and then you put it on your head, and you're like, well, now what is it? Because you know it's a Bluetooth headphone. You know what it sounds like, Bluetooth. But now I've got a Sparkos Gemini. What? This Antonio Banderas singing? It's a Vita. Why do these sound so good? The Noble guys themselves admitted to me, like, look, we got to squeeze an amp and a DAC and a Bluetooth module and batteries and all this DSP for the noise. We have to squeeze all that in this headphone to make it a Bluetooth headphone. And here's the thing. We tuned it properly to be just a fucking headphone. Just a headphone. Just a headphone. A closed back headphone, no less. That, let's say, you would throw on a wall or be an audiophile. And I'm trying to think now, $650. Let's pretend it's not a Bluetooth. When you say a $650 Bluetooth headphone, everyone's going to compare it to iPod Max, On Tracks, all those other expensive ones. The fucking Theeese. All those come to mind. But then if I take away the Bluetooth aspect, if I just said, hey, do you see the new Noble Fokus? I could say it now. We're late enough into the video. You see the new Fokus Apollo from Noble? It's just a closed back headphone. That's all it is. $650. Ooh, that's a bargain. Fokus, Noble makes expensive IEMs. They make $1,000, $1,200. So a $650 closed back headphone, that's interesting to me. As soon as you put the word Bluetooth on there, all of a sudden you're comparing it to other things. So now if we don't compare it to those other things, and it comes out of the gate just being a closed back headphone, with dual drivers, piques my interest a hell of a lot more. So let's plug it into the Gemini, which is one of my favorite sounding things, with the Wyatt tube in it that was gifted to me by Ryan from Mod House. Let's put it on. By the way, LNR indicators in the thing. Get rid of some of that clamp if you want to get rid. Oh, there you go. Oh. Comfortable. Quiet, because that's an important thing if you're buying a closed back for just everyday use. You kind of want to buy it for removing the environment. And despite not having the active noise canceling on, I could barely hear the machines running behind me. Unpause some Andrew Lloyd Webber. That's smooth and clear and soundstagey and wide, and the deep rumble of Guardians from the Galaxy OST is like, it's, I could hear, let's put it into the, actually there's an adapter on it. I'm triple adapting now. Ooh, the JDS Element 4. Ooh. Dirty Vegas. This is a nice fucking headphone. This is just a nice headphone, despite being capable of doing wireless things. And it's so rare, like, name, besides Mr. Speakers, aka Dan Clark Audio, who does sell closebacks, but they're usually quite expensive. Who makes good closebacks? I'm asking you. Literally, I want you to tell me in the comments, because SJY's made a couple. They've been a little bit weird or hard to drive with the planars. Sony, like monitoring headphones, that are like $200, but those are specifically monitoring tonality. They're not really like juicy audiophile meat and gravy. AKG, again, B&O. Audio-Technica doesn't fucking count. Focal, the Stellias, are $3,000. And frankly, these sound better than the Stellias. These are more engaging than the Stellias. These have better width than the Stellias. Stellias were a very good headphone. I'm probably going to sell those in the yard sale at some point, by the way, because they mock me from that wall. It's like, use me. And I'm like, I don't feel like it. But this is possibly the best closeback under $1,000. I know the Dan Clark stuff can get up there if you have the right source for them and you're really doing some creamy shit on this side of it. Ignore those for now. Probably till summer. But why do these sound so good? And I don't necessarily think that you need to have like the dual driver setup. It's not doing such an amazing. It's not weird enough to be like, oh, it's not acknowledging that's what's doing it. But it's got a unique sort of the way it's twisting the sound around and like, huh. Peace Division, Seriously Twisted by Uncle. Let's go back. Actually, let's do you because some of this. This is a good fucking headphone. And, oh my lord, epic score, which you could actually listen to. So, you get a mildly understated headphone. It's mildly understated. You're not going to be like, ooh, it's bright pink, and I'm walking through the thing. You're not doing an Apple AirPod Max where they're selling you their headphone by making it a bright, shining thing. Or even worse, the Dyson On-Tracks with those fucking gaudy covers. You got an understated headphone. I don't even think they offer it in different colors. That is legitimately first a good fucking headphone. It's a closed back that doesn't sound like you're boxed in. It's not a big open spacious thing, but everything that comes out of it feels like it's tuned by a company that makes fucking IEMs, which essentially are all closed back little miniature headphones you shove in your ear holes. That just happens to have the capability if you unplug it. I got to complain about this wire for a second. Do not, please, Noble or any company out there, and when Valencia eventually launches, I'm trying to get a power cord that's looped. This is unacceptable. I love the ends on it. It's very pretty. You got the knurling here. But it's a very stiff cable. It's a very stiff cable, and you folded it in the box. And I've had this unboxed for like 2.5 months. And it's still like this. And it's a stiff cable. So, please, everybody in the future, I don't care if you have to go to China and complain there yourselves. Roll the fucking cable. That was one of the things that happened with the Dyson headphone. The original one, all the cables were looped. Then the On-Track came out, it was a little less money. Instead of being $1,000, it was $500. All the cables are folded. And then you end up with this shit. And I'm going to give it a pass simply because you can buy a replacement 3.5 millimeter cable if you don't want to use the weird balance adapter. And just run it 3.5 out of a standard 3.5 millimeter hole. Here it comes with all right, things it comes with: 3.5 millimeter adapter, bag, USB-C cable, airplane adapter for 3.5. You get the boom mic, which you can barely even tell. Like look, it's right there. It's got a little notchway. You put it right above the built-in mic. You don't want to use it. You don't want to be super gamer, bro. You just take it off. You can fold this up, keep it in your pocket for any like serious phone calls. The exploration of the entire unit is pretty much done. Mute switch, charge port, 3.5, up, down, volume, next track, last track, play, pause, ANC button, you tap it, and it's all beeps, none of it's talking. So it's like blink, 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 and I kind of like that. I'm okay with it just going bleepity bloopity bloop. It means I don't have to make 97 languages. We should probably talk. So, box, put down. Box it comes with, which by the way, this is how I want I want my things to open this way. I want to get a sandwich from the fucking grocery store and I want to open it in a clamshell box like this. I want you to take out the Noble box inside the box and look at the foam lining every end of the box. Can I push this down hard enough that it'll close? Oh, no, I can't do it. I wish this case was a little bit less... Like, this case is fucking big. But look at the inside of it. You got the book. It actually weighs as much that if it's closed and you picked it up, you wouldn't quite know if there's a fucking headphone in there already. And then you'd open it up and I still have the plastic on this. Ooh. You can remove this in case you want to repurpose this box for something else. But, like, this is a no-holds-barred... Oh, my God. I just want to poke these like bubble wrap. Some of them are harder than others. I don't get that. That one's stiff. That one's stiff. This one's nice and soft. Oh, I know why that one's hard, because it's behind the Noble logo. You get an extreme case in an extreme box for a headphone that could probably be in a much smaller, thinner case, which would be better. But here's the thing. When I'm on a plane, I don't know if you're on a plane, I just take the headphone and just shove it in my fucking backpack. And I haven't had to take a flight recently. But if I went, I'd probably take these. Battery life is as good as any other Bose headphone. I think we're talking about like 20 hours or 16 hours. Do they even say here? Oh, I'm sorry. I lied. Without ANC, they claim 80 hours. And with ANC, they claim 60 hours. I'm presuming that's at like mid-volume. So even if that's twice as much, if they're exaggerating 100%, that would be 30 hours of playback with ANC on, would still be amazing. They're claiming 60. So really, the only negative thing I have to say about these headphones is the wire is a bit jank. Even though it's a high quality, nice wire, it just needs to knot. They need to fucking roll it up. Don't deliver it to me like this. This is bullshit. Loop it. If Dyson can spend the time to loop it, you should be able to spend the time to loop it. The fact that, and you could literally travel someplace. You can go to a Can Jam. Use these on the plane to get there. Use them on the truck. You could go to your hotel room. You could Bluetooth to your laptop. And then you get to the Can Jam show and you're like, ooh, look at that RME balanced. I wonder what that sounds like. I wonder if that sounds any good. And literally plug in the headphone you've been using as a Bluetooth device and judge sound quality of source gear with it. Which, by the way, this does sound very good in it. Otis Taylor is rocking and rolling right now. That's a rare thing. This is doing a rare thing. I wish I could tell you that. I kind of wish the 14.5 millimeter planar was doing more to like indicate it's there. But that's not really it should just integrate into the sound to make everything. Maybe the reason it sounds so cohesive with so much low end, enough soundstage is because of it. But it's tuned in such a way physically, not digitally. It's tuned in such a way that it's just sort of like, you know what? It's a good overall package. It's like when you integrate a subwoofer into a system. Some people will buy a $2,000 subwoofer, put it in their system, and crank that subwoofer up so much that you notice it. You're doing bad. Bad, man. Bad. A subwoofer properly integrated into any speaker system. You basically turn it up, say, I hear the sub. Turn it down till you can't hear the sub. Turn it up till you just barely hear the sub. And then turn it down a little bit more and let go. So that it doesn't sound like there's a subwoofer, but everything's better. And I think that must be what they're doing with the 14.5 millimeter planar that just happens to be sitting next to that 40 millimeter dynamic. They've tuned it in a way that it's helping, but I don't notice it. And it's annoying because I wish I could like flip a switch and turn that on and off so I know exactly what they're doing with it, but I can't tell. I just know overarchingly, this sounds fucking great. So, do I give the Noble Fokus Apollos? You're going to say, it's got a big K in it. I can't not say Fokus. Yes. Do I wish they were a little less than $650? Yeah. But then again, if it was just a closed-back headphone and had nothing to do with Bluetooth, well, they would probably change the design a little bit. You could definitely tell these are designed for going places and doing things. But I think that they're certainly priced at the exact appropriate price to compete with the big-end Dysons and the big fucking Apples and the Theeese and all the other ones that I talked about in this video. So, yeah, I think you need to listen to them. If you're going to one of the Can Jam shows, bring a source, and you can go from this to your phone. It's interesting when you actually plug it into your phone and then disconnect it and plug it in with a Bluetooth. That's actually probably not a great example because your phone's amps are probably shit if you even have a 3.5. But like a good solid dongle DAC into the balance connection of this, and then you disconnect that and then you play that exact same song with Bluetooth, and you'll hear a difference. And it's not like a crazy like, oh, it sounds like shit on Bluetooth. It's completely competitive on Bluetooth. But then you get to throw it on like multi-hundreds of dollars in chained gear and get flavors of tubes and things. Push that into there. And you're like, oh, okay, I see where the 650 is. So yeah, I think these are probably worth at least looking into if you're into that high-end closed back. It's a closed back headphone first and a Bluetooth headphone second. All right, keep that in mind. So thank you to Noble for sending me this. And they actually sent me 2 sets. The first set was like an original run. And the first thing I noticed was the buttons would rattle. Like the buttons were loose and they would rattle when I moved my head. And they're like, oh shit, you got one of those. So they had an original run where that was a thing. Returned it. They said they've completely changed how they do that so that doesn't happen. I'm like, that's kind of hilarious. You get a Bluetooth headphone. It just jingles around. But they fixed it. And they're like, no, we got this. That's how I know they're making it. And not some fucking rando company that no one's ever heard of. He's like, yeah, we got this. Wallpaper Horde. Links to these. They're actually on a few sites, and they're all the exact same price. $650 on Noble Direct. They're on Apos for $650 with our pre-order, and they are new or open box. How much is the open box? On Audio 46. You get them for $550 open box at Bloom. I'm sorry, not Audio 46. This is Bloom. I think they're on Audio 46 as well. I'll link to a couple places that are selling these because frankly, they belong in high-end headphone stores. If you like this channel and you'd like to keep me going, Patreon and Subscribe Star. Let me tell you about the benefits. $5 a month, see reviews early, participate in yard sales, lossless sound demos, $5 Q&A, so you can ask me questions and I'll answer them in a public video. Or for $10 a month, private behind-the-scenes Telegram chat where I'm there all the time. In fact, I have to mute my phone. Or it'll just ring constantly because people are asking questions or answering questions. I love to go in there and get people's opinions on when I'm doing things. So if you want to be part of that experience, there you go. You also get to a lifetime swap meet channel to buy, sell, and trade gear. So if you do buy these and after a couple months, you're like, you know what? They're good, but I want to try something else. So you don't have to go sell them on eBay or anything. The swap meet channel is just you post it. You say, I live here. This is how much I want. People message you. You sell it. You don't sell it. If you don't sell it, that sucks. But if you do sell it, boom. Avoid all the fees of that shit. It's a private group, like 400-something people in it. Been going since the patronage chat started. So yeah, I'm going to not box these up. I'm going to put them upstairs next to where I leave and then probably use them when I go shopping in 2 days. Because they sound fucking good. Sound real good. Anyway, done. I'm done. You're done. We're done. Cool. Coffee.